Robert!
Arne,
I'm so happy to have you here in the Chess-Base office.
always a pleasure to be in the office, but it's even better when sitting next to you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So, it is time for the Underdog, and since this is an in-between episode, we thought we will present to you something special. One of the greatest Underdog sensations ever, if it ever was an Underdog sensation. That's the question.
Yeah, that is the big question. Yeah, but what are we talking about now, actually? It sounds a bit mysterious to me.
It is the famous game Edwin Ziegler Adams against Carlos Repetto Torre. Have you ever heard of this?
Well, I actually have, because I use the game for my own trainings as well. It's a fantastic game with a lot of calculation stuff going on. So, yeah, it's a very special story. Yeah? It was played back in 1920, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 1920s, yeah.
In I think it was in New Orleans, in the USA. And well, the story is that Carlos, I forget the name, Carlos Torre Repetto.
Yeah.
He was originally from Mexico, but he moved to New Orleans. And he was playing against the person with whom he was sparring a bit with chess, or maybe it was even his trainer officially. I'm not really sure about that. But it's always special, yeah, when you play against a person you know very well, but especially when you have like a coach-student relation. Fortunately, it has never happened to me that I had to play against one of my own students.
Is that so?
Yeah, I don't know. I would feel very uncomfortable. Even as the trainer, you're supposed to be the better player, but I also like the underdog role a bit. So.
That is interesting. I didn't know that. I thought like maybe you have some matches against back then Eline Rögas or something.
Yeah,
like this.
I mean we play friendly games, of course. But
Gotcha.
like official games, you feel more pressure, of course.
That's
on it,
what you mean. I see. Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah, that has a very, very special meaning, of course. But was it an official thing? I think it was just also a bit of a, who knows?
Well, there are strange
100
stories
years.
behind the game. It's
Yeah.
like whether they played really or not. It was a real game. Anyway, shall we find out together?
Absolutely. Let's take a look at it.
Yeah, so Edwin Ziegler Adams playing with the white pieces, going for a 1 e4. And then it's a very quiet opening. e5, knight f3, d6, d4. It's the Philidor defense by black, going for the setup with d6. But after pawn takes, queen takes d4, white is playing very actively, and well, that's a nice thing, yeah. When you have both your central pawns out, you can have free development.
I love it. Yeah, exactly. This is always. I think I never learned anything else. I always want to get out those pawns to get my bishops out.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter where you place the pieces. Yeah, I mean, of course it matters, but you mean there cannot go wrong a lot in those cases. So it's easy play with white. Knight c6, attacking the queen, obviously. Bishop b5. Pinning the knight, bishop d7. Now it's time to take the knight. Black recaptures, knight c3, knight f6, castling kingside, bishop e7.
Yeah,
this is the sort of game everybody has at least played once in his life, either with white or black.
Yeah.
Actually, with both colors, I had such positions many times. Black has the bishop pair, but it's it's a bit cramped position. Yeah, especially that bishop on e7 cannot do much. In general, playing with the more space, you should not go for the exchange of pieces, but that is what Adams did here. He played knight e5, which, it's a remarkable move. It's not really bad, but it kind of helps black to deal with that lack of space. Pawn takes d5, castling, bishop g5, and here black played the move c6, trying to break free, challenge that annoying pawn on d5, possibly the queen can be developed also, so that the rooks will be connected later. White played c4, pawn takes d5, you take back.
And these two files, C and E, they will play a super important role later, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's very logical. Like you have two open files, that's where the major pieces are going. Right. Black played rook e8, also anticipating the battle for the e file. So white also comes with the rook. And here, remarkable move by black. It's move a5. Why did he play
Engine!
Yeah, very suspicious. Yeah, back in 1920 already. Well, it's that the pawn is otherwise hanging, like the queen was eyeing the pawn, and black is planning to go. Oops, that was a little too far. But the rook would like to go to c8 and later to
Yeah.
c5 to challenge that pawn on d5.
Yeah, and that if that works, that is juicy.
Indeed. So look at this, rook e2. White is going to double, rook c8, and
There
rook
he goes.
a e1. And now you see that there are threats that white is about to take on f6. And if you take back with the bishop, because you don't want to ruin your pawn structure, then it's rook takes e8. And therefore, black moves the queen, so that you're able to recapture with the rook.
Yeah, and we see this pattern already, right? There's both have this back rank idea.
Absolutely,
already,
yeah.
which is one of the main themes here.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning what we get to see now. So it's bishop takes bishop. And okay, in hindsight, you'll probably find out that taking with the pawn is the better option. But this looks incredibly ugly. This is something I would not have even considered. Everybody automatically recaptures with the bishop.
That's why it is there. It's defending. Yeah, you take it exactly. Eyeing on the b2 too, and so on.
Yeah, attacking the queen feels like you're untangling, offering the exchange of rooks as well. Looks like black is not doing very badly here at all. But the key move for white to fight for the initiative is, of course, which move? Da-da-da-da-da.
For you at home, if you really haven't seen this game yet, it is now time to pause the video several times. I advise you to take a look in the link. It's underneath the YouTube video, and check out the news page because this game is there, and play it until this position and go with it, because everybody needs to know this game who doesn't know this game yet. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
it is very special.
It's a very good calculation exercise, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure about it, I've included it in one of my courses also, calculation courses. So it's a very...
it could very well be, because I've seen it at least twice, if not 3 times, and I think it was different coaches who taught it to me during my chess-based time.
Yeah.
So let's go for it. It's queen g4, isn't it?
Queen g4. Yeah. Beautiful move, as of course the queen cannot be taken because of rook takes e8, and if you take back, it is white who delivers checkmate here. So
pretty convincing.
The queen has now the task to keep the rook defended. A very important detail here, by the way, is that black doesn't have time to take on e2.
Yes.
Because you take the queen, and if you take on e1, the knight still helps out.
What a
to
pity.
cover the back rank. Yes.
That backfired.
Call it luck or...
luck of the knight, yeah.
Yeah,
Good,
but the knight is there for a reason at least. So black has to move the queen, and the only square available here is actually b5, so that you stay in touch with that rook on e8. And now, I mean, it was a fun move, queen g4, but what have you accomplished with it? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and now I remember the last one who taught this game to me was Mikhail Prozikin,
Okay.
a German grandmaster, and we had a series together for at least 10 or 12 episodes, which was the most beautiful games in history.
Well, this one belongs in that category,
Absolutely.
I would say. Yeah.
So now the queen is once again showing its vulnerability and power on the same time, with c4 being attacked twice.
Excellent.
It is so crazy.
It's crazy. So this time, okay, we have seen you cannot move the queen, but if you take with the rook, it's the same pattern, and it's again back rank mate. So queen got to keep the rook defended, goes back to d7.
And
it's funny, you can go back and forth, but we need to make progress at some point.
Yes, and this was the position when I saw this game the first time, I think it was with Michael, that I got it wrong. Because I thought like, okay, maybe queen b5 makes sense, because then we do it again, but then of course it's a total failure, it cannot work.
That's the worst move in the position.
Yeah, exactly, You cannot...
And, you lose the queen while the rook is still protected.
So instead you do the exact same thing again. That was the hint he gave to me, and that is queen c7.
Queen c7, it's like overload. Rook and queen cannot go away. The queen goes to b5, back again. Yeah,
but now, as you said correctly, now we made the progress. So our queen is now even closer to the back ranked mate, and black had to move back. So what is the final move again?
Well, the funny thing is here, this is the moment where a lot of my students went wrong as well. Because no, because you think like you have understood the concept.
Exactly, exactly.
And the move I think all my students have played here is queen takes b7.
Yes, that's a thought. Queen b7, queen a5 doesn't help.
Yeah, like if you go queen a4, you can just go b3, and the queen is gone. But the key move here for black, the defense, you remember it or?
No, I don't.
No? Then
it's
your chance again to find out. But it's this move, queen takes e2. It's a counter trick with the point that after rook takes e2, there is rook to c1.
Yeah.
And if you block with a knight, you can simply take it, rook takes e1, and there is rook takes e1. And it's black who can deliver
we were
a back rank
so
knight.
close.
Yeah. And you understand, this doesn't occur very often in real games. So that's why it's also, a lot of people are a bit suspicious about if it was really played or not. The story goes, actually, I think that it was sort of a gesture to his trainer to create this. Maybe it was a real game, but they maybe adjusted the moves a bit to make it work at all.
Or they were analyzing and found out that, oh my goodness, this is all possible.
Yeah.
Could also be, right? Yeah.
Indeed. So,
but there's another thing. So after queen takes b7 and queen takes e2, you might think, well, we can now take on c8 with the queen.
That's absolutely true.
Because the rook cannot take back after the queen takes, but of course we lost the whole queen. That's the bad problem.
Yeah, well, the thing is you make this intermediate move, and then you can take the queen. Yeah.
Okay, so I remember the right move again. And
this is very difficult to find because the right move is a4.
Yeah.
We understand the concept that we want to chase away the queen, but many of us would think like, okay, this is like a pawn blunder because the queen captures on a4. What I should point out, the difference with the previous line with queen takes b7 is obviously that queen takes e2 here doesn't work because after rook takes e2, the queen is still on the c file, so you don't have time here to go rook c1. And that's why, okay, you're just winning again with back rank mate. Only move for black is
takes, right?
Take the pawn, and this is very, very difficult because now you're not going to play b3. After b3, with the idea to deflect the queen goes back again, and no progress has been made. So you play rook e4.
Yeah, that move is also. I mean, like it was like 6 moves in a row, which are
but now you think like you have understood it, eh? And that's what a lot of people think. But I'm asking you now, what is actually white's threat?
Taking the queen.
Is it? Let's say I play a move. I just play h6 to If you take here,
then you take with check first.
Then you take with check first. Knight takes back, rook takes c7, and well, black is up a pawn. So the funny thing is that with rook e4, you're actually not threatening to take the queen. But what else is the key idea here?
Oh,
you have to be clever
again. What was that again? Damn.
Yeah, so you're learning something new, yeah?
I'm like, this is the crazy thing about it. I hope some of you at home who know this game already have the same feeling, like how did it continue again?
So let's say we play this move h6 again.
Yeah.
We understand the problem, that we cannot take the queen because there's still rook takes e1.
Yeah.
And after that your own queen is hanging. But what is a clever idea here for white? We have a beautiful word in German for it, yeah? Zwischenzug. If I pronounce correctly.
Zwischenzug, yes.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm thinking. I thought about b3, but that doesn't help either.
No. You want to take the queen, but there's rook takes e1. So get rid of this rook. How do you deflect this rook? What is the rook doing now on e8? Come on, Arne.
How do you deflect that?
You're defending this guy.
Yeah. So we take that guy?
You take that guy.
Oh.
queen takes c8, you cannot, well, you can take back, of course, but then you're up a rook.
Okay.
That is the difference.
I don't know even why I was concentrating on the checkmate, but there was already a space for the black, so I didn't even have to think about that.
Exactly.
So that was embarrassing.
No worries, no worries. So let's go back. But that's the funny thing. The threat in this position is not to take the queen, but to take on c8.
My goodness, because I was so focused on e8 that I couldn't even consider taking on e4 anymore after it didn't work.
And that's why it is so difficult to find that move a4 with the idea to go rook e4, because you're focusing on the queen, but the focus is actually elsewhere.
That is very crazy, yes.
Let's have a look what happened. We understand the threat. Queen goes back to b5. So obviously now queen takes c8 doesn't make sense, because black is covering the e8 square twice still. So we have to find a better move. And that is... Because...
Okay, now we can take on b7.
Yeah, and can you explain what's the difference?
Well, now the queen is attacked once again. So after the rook would take the rook, we can just simply take the queen. There's no checkmate threats against white. On the other hand, if the queen takes the queen, we threaten checkmate again.
Then it's mate indeed. Yeah. By the way, what you said, it's fine. Like after rook takes e4, you wanted to take the queen, right?
Oh, we can just checkmate earlier.
It's just a bit
You're right.
So you block, and then it's the same trick all over again. So the funny thing is that here the move queen takes pawn on b7, it did work. So white has managed to get rid of his own back rank problems by moving the rook from e to e4. There's no longer queen takes e2 idea. And that's why it's game over here. Apparently the move a4 was played. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. Probably
played.
It's wrong. Yeah, and queen b5. That's not necessary. I mean,
but anyway, we see that black can no longer save the queen and keep the rook on e8 defended at the same time.
Thanks for showing this to us, and I like the idea that this was actually, or this is still some training material you use for your students.
Yeah.
So it's worth checking out this game every couple of years, like a good book, a good film, or something like that. And this might probably be one of the greatest underdog.
Maybe it was played in the underground. Yeah? Who knows?
Yes. Some shady chess business happening with all those bets coming in, and who knows? Well, thanks a lot.
Thank you.